Portability is the common denominator in all location production sound jobs. And every sound mixer doing this kind of work has their equipment either in a bag or in a cart. And whether it's in a bag or in a cart, they're always uniquely configured by the owner to suit the way they like to work. So let's look as Whit Norris describes his own sound cart.
Well, every cart I think starts with the mixer, but a little bit about my cart. This cart was basically designed with Grant Grisham was who pretty much came up with this design that a lot of mixers are now using these days. It all starts at the board, and this is a Sonosax ST8D. It does have an AES out. I love my Sonosax. Anybody that's had a Sonosax will pretty much tell you how much they love it, and I don't want to let it go. It sounds so awesome. The preamps are great. But the problem is 8 channels, and we've been talking about during this video about extra tracks and extra channels. Well, there have been a few times where I needed more than 8 channels, and that what brings me to the Kantar. Because with the Kantar, and of course this is on the analog side of the Kantar, I can bring out 8 channels, and then I have the option of bringing in 4 more channels that I can put into the mix. So in a way, this gives me 12 channels, and I still get to keep my Sonosax without having to go to one of the other type of larger mixers that require external power and converters and etc. This is my new Kantar X3. Like I said, one of the reasons I went with this was to extend the more tracks with my Sonosax. But I tell you also, I mean, it's just a beautiful, almost a work of art the way it's designed. I love it. One of the things that makes me feel, it feels like a Nagra is I'm not pushing a button to go into record, but actually turning a knob to go into record. And then same thing to come out of record. But it's almost like, for those of you guys that remember the old days of when we actually turned a knob to go into record. Another great thing I like about this machine is, as you see here, we've got the SSD, then we have our other SD cards, and we even have a thumb drive card. Anyway, we have 3 medias that we can record on. We've got an internal, which is removable, the SSD card, and then 2 SD cards, and then a thumb drive. And I can record to 4 drives at one time that were all in the machine without, wiring to external drives or that type of thing, which still can be done if you need to. I have 12 analog ends, which I like. Basically, I'm still using analog. I mean, I do have AES out of the out of the Sonosax that I send to the Diva as the backup on the Diva 16. The Kantar, going through the menus, let's see. Basically, your headphone matrix, this is very similar to some of the other manufacturers. Then you have your matrix for your tracks and inputs. Changing your sample rates, your pre-record. Also, this has a new feature that just came out with the new software. You can do a 30-second pre-record. Wow, I could say speed on the set and actually walk back to the cart and hit the button. That's pretty good. I would have 30 seconds. So anyway, assuming everything else was set on the cart. Some more technical settings there. And this is for selecting your medias that we talked about, and that was the 4 medias. Also, you can route any of your inputs to these faders. So basically, you have 10 faders, and you could be bringing in 10 tracks right there. And something kind of neat, magnetic. Look at that. Being that I'm a new Kantar owner, and it actually feels really good. I'm having the colored faders brought in. These are basically your 8 inputs for your microphones, which can also be switched to line. And you can lock these down. Right now they're not locked down, so you can see the adjustments that you're doing on them. And you can also look at these as your trims if necessary, if you were not using a board. My Diva 16 is my backup. That's actually been my main recorder for many years, and before that it was the Diva 5, which I still love that recorder, and that recorder is still, I consider, one of the best recorders out there for the cart. Let's see, as we travel around to the cart, we have the remote audio remote for the Meon, and I can remotely turn it off and on, and also check my amps. And we see 8.23, and we see Ant-Man right above it. We had worked on Ant-Man last year. Denicky GR2. I've always used an external Timecode device. Generally, in the past, it's been a GR1, and then in recent years, a GR2. When I felt like running multiple machines, in case one of them's timecode was bad and it was feeding another one that wasn't really being a true backup in the sense. And as we all know with Denicky products, they're rock solid with their timecode. I'm a big fan of Denicky. We move on up. Let's see, we've got 2 venues, so I have 12 channels of wireless there. And then on top, we have the speakeasy for if we need to play something back, or sometimes it's just me monitoring the set. What's next? Movie slate. I have not written a sound report, I want to say, in probably 4 years or more. It might even be more. Again, I lose track of time these days. And this allows, one of the great things about Movie Slate is that it allows a lot of notes. And if you're doing some of the handwritten reports that we used to use, and some guys are still using them, it just doesn't give you a lot of opportunity to write a lot of notes. And one of the great things in this, I can list the type of microphones I'm using. And so this goes down through to the dialogue editor, and if they have to match something, they can actually see what microphone was used on that scene, on that actor. And also the fact that everybody needs a copy of my sound report. The production office does. The AD team at the trailers do, people syncing the sound do, transfer does, editorial does, picture editorial does. Well, basically I have everyone loaded up, have their emails loaded up, and then when we do the film break, hit a button and out it goes. Everybody has their copy instantly. There's no having to go to copying machines or carbons or anything like that. So that took that took all the making copies and carbons out of the workflow, which is another big winner for it. And also Cliff and the guys down there are continually improving the slate and taking input from anyone else. And now via the cloud, I can send my setup. If somebody's coming in to do second unit, I can just send them my setup via the cloud, and they've got the same settings that I have, so they don't have to sit there and dial through it. Also, I can store a whole movie on the cloud of all the notes and just send that to whoever would need it downstream in SoundPost. What else have I added lately? We just recently added this Chindi bit, and this would be to hold my sides on, which I'm looking forward to. I used to have to string them down the side of the cart. Now I can lay them out across there. And I recently added the Chindi light, which is a nice touch instead of the silly clip lights I always used to have on that usually lasted maybe half of a film before they broke. Of course, here's one of the mottos. It's all about signal to noise. If you can get the dialogue high enough over the noise, it's going to work. And it takes a lot of years to learn what can be fixed and what can be used, but it's all about the signal to noise. But that's always my little motto that I keep on the cart. I use the high noise 7506 remote audio headphones. Many years ago, when remote audio came out with these, I picked up a pair for when I was going to be in a high noise environment. I'd done some commercials, for NASCAR and things where things were really loud. I did some U.S. Army commercials, being aboard different helicopters and recording sound. And some of those environments were so loud you could not hear what you were recording. And so when they came out, I got a pair, and I just had them for those situations. Then I noticed we'd be shooting, on a TV show or a film in a house, and there was no room for the sound department in the house. We were having to set up outside, and there might have been a busy street outside, and planes and jets. And I noticed I would start pulling them out and using them because it would help isolate from some of the exterior noise, so I could actually tell what I was recording. And then after a while, I got to where I was using them all the time, and they pretty much they're the standard now. And a lot of times, because they're so well isolated, especially if we're working on the stage, I can give a ear a break. I can rotate ears and leave one ear off for a while and let my ears rest a little bit, especially after a long day, and I can still tell exactly what I'm recording. Another new thing that we added to the cart was a Chindi antenna mount, which was lighter and smaller, and it makes it a little more compact. We can fold it up. I had a great bar, the K-Tech antenna bar, but this one makes it a little more compact for what we're doing sometimes. And basically I have a compact antenna, then I have our PL IFB antenna. That's how we all communicate on my team and monitor. This is Trew Audio's Production Sound Mixer podcast.